The Battle of Plassey was a significant battle fought on June 23, 1757, between the British East India Company and the army of Siraj-ud-Daulah, the Nawab of Bengal. The battle took place near the village of Plassey in the present-day state of West Bengal, India. The outcome of the battle marked a major turning point in the history of British India, as it led to the East India Company's domination over Bengal and paved the way for the British colonization of the Indian subcontinent. The British East India Company had established trading posts in India in the early 1600s. By the mid-1700s, the company had become one of the most powerful economic and political forces in India. Bengal was one of the wealthiest provinces of India, and the East India Company wanted to expand its presence in the region. The Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Daulah, ascended to the throne in 1756, after the death of his grandfather, Alivardi Khan. Siraj-ud-Daulah was young and inexperienced, and the company saw an opportunity to take advantage of his weakness to establish their dominance in Bengal. The East India Company had established a strong foothold in Bengal, but they faced competition from the French and the Dutch. Siraj-ud-Daulah was opposed to the British presence in Bengal and had confiscated the company's trading posts and warehouses in the region. The company, under the leadership of Robert Clive, decided to take action against the Nawab. In May 1757, Robert Clive led a force of about 3,000 troops, including 2,000 sepoys and 8 field guns, to attack the Nawab's army, which was camped near Plassey. The Nawab had a much larger army of about 50,000 troops, including 18 artillery guns. However, the Nawab's army was poorly organized and lacked discipline, and many of his soldiers were not loyal to him. On June 23, 1757, the two armies faced each other on the battlefield. The East India Company had the advantage of better organization, discipline, and superior firepower. Robert Clive had also managed to bribe several of the Nawab's generals and soldiers to switch sides, weakening the Nawab's army. The battle began with the firing of the Nawab's artillery. However, the British were well prepared and had dug trenches to protect their troops. The British guns, under the command of Captain Grant, were able to silence the Nawab's artillery within an hour. The Nawab's army then launched a cavalry charge, but the British were able to repel the attack with their muskets and artillery. As the battle progressed, the Nawab's army began to disintegrate, and many of his soldiers deserted him. Siraj-ud-Daulah fled from the battlefield, leaving his army to fend for themselves. The battle lasted for about 8 hours, and by the end of the day, the British had emerged victorious. Aftermath. The Battle of Plassey was a decisive victory for the British East India Company. The company had secured control over Bengal and had established its dominance over the region. The battle also marked the beginning of British colonization of India, as the company continued to expand its territories and influence in the country. Siraj-ud-Daulah was captured and executed by his own officers a few months after the battle. Robert Clive was hailed as a hero in Britain and was appointed as the governor of Bengal in 1757. The battle also led to a significant shift in the balance of power in India, as the British